Viewer guidance is strongly advised. The following content is intended purely for informational and entertainment purposes. This is the verbatim federal courtroom testimony of the Sean Diddy trial as reported by Inner City Press. The courtroom held its breath as Kim Kardashian entered, not as a celebrity or mogul, but as a witness. There were no cameras, no performances, just silence and tension. Her steps were controlled, but heavy with something deeper. As she took the stand, the weight of years of silence seemed to settle across the room. The prosecutor started gently, asking about her connection to Diddy. Kim recalled meeting him in 2006. Their relationship began with business, shared events, brand deals, but quickly shifted. She explained how he saw in her not just a media figure, but a tool for image control. He offered influence in exchange for loyalty. Back then, it seemed like a mutual deal. Now, she knew it was manipulation. A photo from a 2009 Miami yacht party was brought out. Kim's face tightened. She remembered that night clearly. Phones taken, guests separated by status, a young woman escorted out mid-party, scared. She never saw her again. Someone on Diddy's team told her, "Don't worry, she's been taken care of." Those words stayed with her. Kim admitted she never felt directly threatened, but the lines were always clear. You knew where not to step. Warnings came not just from others, but from her own instincts. Once inside that world, you didn't leave easily. When asked if she was testifying because the tide had turned against Diddy, Kim said people could think that if they wanted. The truth was, she'd carried this for over a decade. Staying silent may protect your image, but it erodes your soul. She had watched girls disappear behind closed doors and said nothing. That silence, she admitted, made her part of the system. The prosecutor asked about the phrase she heard, "Don't worry, she's been taken care of." Kim said it came up too often, usually after something disturbing. A girl escorted out, someone crying, or refusing a drink. She'd even been told to tweet a false statement once about a missing girl. She refused. After that, her invitations stopped, brand deals fell through, and her agent warned her she was becoming a problem. The court was shown an email referencing something called compliance parties. Kim described them as private, invitation-only events. No phones, no outside staff, strict rules. She'd attended two. That was enough. At one, she saw a girl who couldn't have been more than 18. Hours later, she found her passed out in a side room. Two men were there. Diddy wasn't one of them, but his security stood guard outside. When she tried to tell a staffer, the woman replied, "If you didn't see Diddy do anything, you didn't see anything." Kim stayed. She didn't want to cause a scene. She told herself it wasn't her place, that she had no proof. But looking back, that was the moment she became complicit. She tried confronting Diddy once at a charity event in 2016. She brought up a girl who had vanished. His response was chilling. "Be careful who you try to save. Some of them don't want saving." To her, it was a threat. And a painful truth. Some victims took payouts and disappeared. Others weren't so lucky. The court reviewed a conversation from 2018. Kim had said, "I'm tired of pretending this is industry culture. It's not culture. It's a cover." She recalled the moment clearly. She had received a DM from a dancer who said, "You looked at me and left." That broke her. She remembered the night, the girl, the hallway, and the fact that she had done nothing. Kim described compliance zones, Diddy's private events. Everything was orchestrated. Nothing was spontaneous. The women were chosen, the staff pre-approved, and surveillance disguised as luxury. Speaking out back then would have been career suicide, especially for a woman. Media and celebrities were part of the same system. The prosecutor then revealed a financial trail. In 2015, an investment in Kim's brand Skims came through a fund tied to Diddy. Kim didn't know at first. When she tried to withdraw, she was warned not to create curiosity. The warning came from someone who used to represent her. She fired them later. "Why does this matter now?" the prosecutor asked. Kim's response was immediate. Because the lie lasted too long. Silence made Diddy untouchable. Too many people believed it was just partying, when in reality, many were simply surviving. Then came the Met Gala afterparty in 2019. Kim entered with Kendall, but left alone. That night, she realized she couldn't deny what was happening anymore. Diddy had given her a black VIP card. Inside the red-lit room, she saw barely dressed women, powerful men, and one girl. Young, crying, being held by a man in Diddy's circle. The girl looked at Kim silently, asking for help. Kim didn't. She walked out, found Kendall, and left. She never spoke of it until now. She explained that speaking meant losing everything: endorsements, media deals, protection. But what about the girl in that room? What did she lose? Kim said she brought it up to Diddy weeks later. He smiled and said, "That's why you were invited. You can handle uncomfortable." In that moment, Kim saw how he viewed women, not as people, but as currency. After that, she distanced herself from him, slowly but deliberately. Staying publicly cordial kept questions away, but she never entered a room hosted by him again. The prosecutor asked about payments. Kim said settlements were common. Girls disappeared, influencers wiped their social media, stylists vanished from the scene. Someone would always say, "She got the envelope. She had received one too. $50,000 in cash with a note. For your time and silence." She sent it back. Shortly after, she got a call saying it was just a misunderstanding. But she knew better. It was a message. "You're in our world now." She was asked if others from her family had been affected. Kim recalled Chloe attending a party in 2015. She returned early and shaken. She never spoke about it, only saying, "I'm not doing that again." Kim didn't press. Now, she wishes she had. Then came the most sensitive moment. The court revealed messages from 2020. Someone identified as Subject K claimed to have information about Kim Porter's death. Kim had replied, "I know what really happened, but saying it would collapse too many pillars." When asked who Subject K was, Kim quietly said, "Kanye." The courtroom reacted audibly. The judge called for order. Kim explained that Kanye had been gathering information, names, texts, photos. He believed Kim Porter didn't die of pneumonia. He thought she knew too much and had warned Diddy she would go public. Kim recalled a final conversation with Porter where she warned her, "Don't get too deep." At the time, Kim dismissed it. Now, she wished she hadn't. Did she believe Diddy was involved in Porter's death? Kim answered carefully. She believed the fear surrounding Porter's silence was not natural, it was coordinated. Kim said Diddy often bragged about his media influence. Once, someone published a negative article. By Monday, the writer was doing real estate blogs. That kind of power wasn't a coincidence, it was control. When asked about the cost of her connection to Diddy, Kim replied, "Everything. Pieces of herself she didn't know she was trading. It started with favors, then silence. It cost her relationships, people who warned her, friends she distanced from. She helped Diddy by simply being seen beside him. Her presence validated him." When did she decide she couldn't stay silent anymore? When she became a mother. One night, North asked her, "How do you know who's a good person?" Kim didn't know how to answer. She'd spent years beside men who weren't good. She realized she couldn't teach her children about accountability if she didn't live it herself. The prosecutor asked if there was anything left she wanted the world to know. Kim said yes. They didn't just enable Diddy. They celebrated him. They wore his clothes, danced to his music, ignored the whispers. She said young girls entered his world thinking they were special, only to be broken, silenced, erased. She had seen it, and she kept moving, but not anymore. She ended with this. "This isn't just about Diddy. It's about the system that protected him. And she didn't care what headlines it cost her. This system needed to burn. And she was ready to light the match."